And welcome back. We're ready for our next Before Watchmen comic review. This time it's the comedian number one. I'm Dave Herndon.
I'm David Komer.
And so far we had in this series, there's 7 separate miniseries. So far we've read 3 of them. The Minutemen number one, I don't remember my exact rating, but I remember it being somewhere around an A- to a B range.
Sure.
Silk Spectre number one, we both gave it solid D-minuses.
Well earned. And now the comedian. What are your thoughts, Dave?
Well, when we picked it up, we picked it up over at Wonderland Comics in Taylor, and the guy there was excellent, much better than the shops I've been picking these up by my house, which are not downriver, by the way.
Toledo.
But the guy over at Wonderland was pretty knowledgeable, and he said that the comedian was his favorite of the series so far. I've got to disagree.
Yeah.
It wasn't as bad as the Silk Spectre, but it did not hold up to the Minutemen to me. It goes back into telling his early history, but first of all, I think it read too quick. Was it that much smaller of a book than the first 2?
It went by in a nanominute. Really, I agree. It was it didn't seem that long. Also, one thing I was disappointed in, and it may be covered in the Minutemen, which FYI was excellent, but I wanted to see more of his history. I wanted to see him younger. It seems like it's 5 minutes before the Watchmen started.
Yeah,
he's got gray in his hair.
Yeah.
Okay, and he's got gray in his hair in the 80s, right before he dies.
So this is at best maybe the mid 70s.
Oh well, but the Kennedys are alive, so.
But remember, it's the
reimagined.
It's the reimagined
parallel timeline.
So we don't know exactly what year Kennedy died necessarily in this.
Right.
And that was my other big complaint, is that in other incarnations of the Watchmen, be it the movie, the comic, whatever, Eddie, the comedian, shoots Kennedy.
Right.
And in this, he's not even in the country when Kennedy dies.
You might remember, if you've seen the Watchmen movie, the beautiful montage that Zack Snyder did, where you get to see Jeffrey Dean Morgan as the comedian walking away from the grassy knoll with a smoking gun, literally, and lighting up a stogie. And so again, that was kind of confusing. They work in the Kennedy family with the comedian, and him being a friend of theirs, doing favors for them, being highly connected. And Dave, let's just get this out of the way right now. A pet peeve of mine is, we all know the comedian's a badass. We all know he chews bullets and craps out diamonds, and we all know he rides on the crest of clouds while he's banging hot chicks and smoking cigars and drinking, and God bless him, he's awesome. Well, Satan bless him. But I get tired of the hero worship by the creators. We know the comedian's a badass, yet do you really have to show him, spoiler alert, killing Marilyn Monroe as a favor to Jackie Kennedy? Oh my God, we know he's highly connected, but I am so tired of writers. He gets fluffed constantly. It's almost like being an 8-year-old and having arguments with your friends about who can beat Wolverine in a fight. I feel it's that kind of thing where, there is no one cooler than the comedian. We're going to get reminded of it because he's going to do whatever he wants, and he never has. It's almost like everything the comedian is in, well, we've mostly flashbacks, it almost just seems as a vehicle to impress upon us how awesome he is. I mean, his sneezes are cooler than our existence. And I mean, I get a little tired of it. I know he's a neat character, but show him at least have trouble once in his life with adversity.
Well, and yet in reality, the reality of the universe anyway, he really was just an aging, lonely man.
Yeah, kind of a psychopathic bastard.
Like, as cool as his life may have been, it led up to him being a single loner who gets murdered in his apartment.
But it's like a penthouse apartment. He's sleeping in silk.
But money doesn't buy happiness. Money and connections. He still didn't have a family.
But let me add, he's a psychopathic bastard who is probably
better not to have a family.
He's probably happy as a lone wolf. Probably wouldn't have it any other way. And he probably just kicked out a gaggle of high-priced call girls, leaving them with vanilla milkshakes. But I swear, I'm so tired of him. It's just, I know he's great. I know he's awesome. It's just, again though, when will we see him ever have adversity? Obviously, he...
Maybe issue 2?
Perhaps. It just seems like the guy, granted, cool character. I just get tired of it. But anyways, the storyline, without giving away too much, although I did, basically, he's, basically he gets sent on a fool's errand by the FBI to, as a diversion, because he's in tight with the Kennedy family. At the very end, we'll just say it's a day in November, and he gets notified of a big news event. So, and it hits him where he lives, not literally, but spiritually. So, obviously, finally, the comedian hits a road bump, and his path to coolness maybe gets diverted for a little bit. I want to see where they go with it, but I wasn't that impressed. I thought the whole thing was okay. Granted, when you read a comedian book, it's going to be a vanity project to again tell us how cool he is. But I didn't really get a whole lot from it. And like I said, at least give us a flashback of him as a kid or something, especially if this is going to be number 1.
Yeah, I mean the earliest we've seen him, which was actually back in Minutemen, was as a teenager, already a member of the Minutemen.
Right.
We really didn't get to see him grow up as it would be. I'm really hoping that with Night Owl, Dan Dryberg, and with Rorschach, won't give away his secret identity. Oh wait, Rorschach is the secret identity. But I really hope we get to see them mature a little more. And even with Sally, she's a teenager in the Silk Spectre book, but it was before she was a hero, at least.
Right.
We get to see snippets of their life beforehand.
In that case, maybe it wasn't a good thing.
Well, of course, but if you're going to give us before Watchmen, give us before they were a hero. Don't just be like, well, this was 6 minutes before the first book opened.
And I'm really interested to see what Brian Azzarello does with the whole project. The comedian's really cool in a lot of ways, but yeah, we don't get to see a whole lot. And oh my God, by the time Watchmen rolls around, is he about the world's most fit 80-year-old? I mean, if he's in his teens as a member of the Minutemen, late teens, mind you.
And that was the 50s, so you're flashing forward 35 years or so.
Yeah, at least.
So he's in his 60s in The Watchmen.
Okay,
that
would make sense. I don't know. It just seems like, yeah, again.
Either way, I give this book a solid C-.
C- sounds good.
It didn't pop for me, but I'm not willing to give up on it. I am looking forward to issue 2.
It's got loads of potential. I'm really interested. Had a great cover of him basically in what looked like an S&M mask, zippers and leather, but hey, I don't judge. Again though, really cool, and I'm interested to see where it goes. But they've got a lot of work though to kind of like get things going.
If issue 2 isn't better, I'd be ready to dump it.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that.
It's right on that borderline for me.
What'd you think of the art?
The art was really good. Again, it wasn't as good as Darwin Cook had done with the Minutemen, but I think it's really hard. Like with the art, it's really hard to do what they're trying to do. Is trying to give the artist the freedom to do what they see fit for the book, but also trying to like set it back in the time frame of at the latest, the late 70s, but
yeah,
before.
Right. At least maybe even early 70s. There's a bit of a borderline, like maybe Silver Age kind of vintagey look. And I got to say, I was pretty impressed with the way the Kennedys looked. So anyways, but in any event, comedian's worth picking up, if anything, just to take a look at it. But the clock is ticking.
And we'll be back soon with the Night Owl.
Right.
That comes out this week, and we're going to try to pick that up on Wednesdays.